We in? We're on. Boom. Just taking a little quiet away just to walk into town. Got Chinese lessons in about 20 minutes, so I need to grab a quick coffee before. It's quite intense, but I just wanted to do a quick one just to sort of give you an insight into just how nuts this job can be. So came back last week from, I don't know if you've seen the last videos, but I was a bit like out of it. Just had a little time off basically, just sort of like refresh, come back, and it worked wonders. So came back last week of the month, and we had, so what day is it today? It's Thursday. So Monday we sort of said, look, we've got like a fair bit to close. There was like 4 deals happening. And then Tuesday we had just like, you know, one of those like horrific days where in the space of an hour, 3 things that were meant to happen all fell through for like reasons beyond our control, and just like clockwork, like, you know, it was like 1 each for the members of staff, and it was like one of them, they like verbally offered a guy and then said, actually we've spoken and want to go for someone more senior, so like just a pain, but like not much you can do there. They've revised the job brief that they've given us. Someone else was, I have to be quite vague about one, but not that they're going to watch it, but another one was like, they offered her, she asked a fairly innocuous question back, and then they pulled the offer. It was just a bit like, you know, I get, you know, you're a startup, you're busy, but it doesn't mean you have to then go and do something. Again, I'm speaking in vague terms, just on the off chance, but yeah, you can imagine what sort of opinions I had on that. And then like the other one was just like couldn't, they took like 4 or 5 days to get the offer out, and they had another offer and they sent it like quickly. They were like the other company that wasn't through us, so just like, and they ended up accepting that. But just like you could see, a space of an hour, like for reasons that were like relatively beyond our control. I mean, the good news is 2 of those jobs are still open, so you know, we can like backfill those in November. And it was like, to be honest, it would have been rock bottom had it not been for the fact that obviously the members of staff I've got underneath me were sort of reaching out saying, you know, they were a bit stressed, they were a bit upset that these deals they put so much work into hadn't come off. So it sort of like opened a bit of a gap for me to step in and be like, you know, oh, don't worry, you know, we'll get through this. And that actually helps like ground me quite a lot. And I didn't take it too hard, but I was looking at the month and it was like, my biggest fear is being average. And it would have been like last month we did well, but it wasn't, you know, I like to set the standard. I don't want it to creep in that this is like the new norm. So I put that stress on myself, completely self-invented, and it was just like, I want us to be excellent, right? And I just think, what's the point of doing a job if you're gonna, especially when you own a business, like, I don't want to like own a business and just do okay. I want to do like very well, and I think you work in sales, so what you put in is what you get out, and it was frustrating that 2 months in a row we've sort of had a lot of stuff fall through. So you know, the morale was quite low. And then yesterday, it's public holiday in Hong Kong, but we were sort of still online. We had this deal bubbling in Japan, and it was like, in the back of my head, I was like, look, if that comes off, you know, because it's a very tricky market, it's a lot of questions, but we somehow found this Japanese candidate, and he's just like the soundest guy on the planet, and he got a big offer out of the blue, which we sort of didn't expect. It was a good pay rise for him, but we were a bit like, you know, we won't hear back, it'll probably be like 2 weeks of negotiation. So in my head I didn't even like register that could happen, if you know what I mean. It was like, I think I was still sort of like a bit affected by the other news we had, and then he ended up sort of taking it, just like, yeah, I'll take it, like no, like very little questions back, which is amazing. So like, you've gone from this ridiculous lows of having to like scrape a team off the floor after they've had like, you know, we've had 3 offers that all looked like relatively like likely, to then go down to nothing, to then out of the blue being hit with this like deal that's, you know, Japan's such a hard market. We've done like 4, like this would be our 3rd deal with like a 4th ongoing, just out of the blue. So it was like, mad, what a roller coaster. And it made me think, you know, about my friend where he's like, you know, I think I mentioned it in a couple of videos back, where he was like, I spoke about like gratitude and like saying like, this is part of the journey, right? Like this fucking craziness and going through it all. So yeah, like, what a ride, what a roller coaster. And look, it's, you know, it's still only Thursday lunchtime, we still got tomorrow, so I don't know, anything can happen. Will it be more good news, will it be more bad news? But I think, yeah, it's so strange, but you just got to like take those highs, ride them. And right now I'm trying to isolate myself in this moment and just be like, look, we've had a great month now, like an excellent month. Let's just, you know, ride this wave, take that into November. But it's mad because yesterday, you know, I was on, I mean, it's such a bipolar job. I mean, in the UK, they call it champagne and razor blades. That's like the nickname associated with recruitment, because it's either the highest of highs and you're popping champagne, or the lowest of lows and you're staring at a razor blade. So, yeah, we'll take it for now. We're back in business. I've got a smile on my face again. The bags under my eyes are gone. And let's see how long until, you know, I can hold that up. But anyway, get a bit busy around here, so I'll take the camera off. I'm always conscious around filming around people, but I'll catch up with you in a bit.